Yo, what is up, guys? Party Waffles here, and today I'm making you guys an updated tier list for PvP, mainly solo shuffle and arena, okay? There's been new class changes, there's been corruptions, a bunch of stuff has changed since the last tier list, so I'm gonna let you guys know what's up now. The best classes are gonna be at the top, the worst are gonna be at the bottom at the F tier. F tier is just gonna be the tanks because this is for solo and arena, so I'm not really gonna rate tanks as they don't really apply to those brackets. And yeah, so I actually added in an A plus and an A minus tier just because the A tier was kind of stacked, just so I could kind of break it up and you could see what was stronger and weaker, right? But let's get right into this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to rank here is Warrior. So Arms Warrior, actually in the last tier list, I had it as S tier, but since then, Wrecking Throw has got nerfed, Execute has got nerfed, and just overall, they kind of dropped a little bit. They're still good, they're still a strong A plus tier, but they're just no longer S tier. Next we have Fury Warrior. I mean, they got nerfed a little while ago. They fell off. Arms Warrior was the meta at S, but then Arms Warrior fell a bit. Fury's still strong, though. It's just not nearly quite as good as the other spec. But it's still the A minus tier. Prot goes into the tank specs in the F tier. Assassination Rogue, we're going to put that up in the A plus tier. Strong Cleave, AoE Silence, Mobility, just typical Rogue stuff, right? Next we're going to have Ret Pally. So I actually took Ret Pally down a tier as well. I had Ret in S tier, but it took a little bit of nerfs. Warrior took a little bit of nerfs, and their main comp just kind of got a bit worse. They're still really strong though. By no means are they bad or anything like that. But they're just, in my opinion, A plus tier instead of like S minus now. So still very viable though. And remember, guys, just because something's not at the top of the tier list doesn't mean it's not viable and you can't play it, right? You can still make stuff work. You just maybe have to try a little harder. The next thing we have here is Sub Rogue, which I'm going to go ahead and put Sub Rogue into the A tier as well. A plus tier, because same deal. Rogue does rogue things. Rogues are pretty good just across the board. The next spec is another rogue spec. Outlaw Rogue, we're just going to put this A minus. It's just a little bit worse. I feel like the general public is just going to perform a little worse on it. But again, it still has high potential, high skill ceiling. Next we have Tank Demon Hunter. We're going to throw that in the F tier. Let's start doing an S tier class here. So Feral Druid, okay? First S tier class, Feral Druid. It's been S tier, feels like the whole expansion now. Clone, crazy dots, crazy bleeds, like AoE damage. You know, you got everything. Mobility, you can go bear form and tank. You can do it all, right? It's just the god melee, in my opinion. Tank Druid goes into the F tier. Let's go with Demon Hunter. So I think that Havoc Demon Hunter is an S tier melee right now. I think it's potentially, outside of Feral Druid, one of the best Mortal Strike classes in the game. A lot of mobility, a lot of burst, pretty good defensives. You can kind of fall over in stuns, so as long as you cover that, or you have a team that can cover that, you're going to be good. And remember, these is for solo shuffle and threes. So some of these things are going to be like S tier and threes, and maybe A in solo shuffle. And I'm going to try to like give them like a median between the two, like an average it out. The next thing here is Marksman Hunter. I think Marksman Hunter, A plus tier. They can one-shot you from half HP. They're very strong. I don't think they're quite S tier, but I do think they're a very strong A plus contender. Next we have Resto Druid here. I still think Resto Druid is an S tier healer. They're very good. The tree form, the immunity, everything about them right now is insane. I don't think they're necessarily the best healer anymore. I think there's two S tier healers. The other one being Holy Paladin. I feel like Holy Paladin is freaking crazy now. They just play in your face. They're spamming reps. They're spamming Searing Glares. Like they just came out of the woodworks and they're insane. So both of these are the best healers in my opinion, right there. Next we have Blood DK. We're going to throw that in the F tier. Again, I'm not saying these tanks are bad or anything like that. Some of them might be good, like a good tank, but this is just because it's arena and solo shuffle, so it doesn't really apply. Next we're going to have Survival Hunter. Again, I think across the board, all Hunter specs are just solid A tier, okay? Across the board. I don't think any of them are S really, although maybe BM Hunter could be. They're pretty good, but to be safe, I'm just going to put them all A across the board. They're all strong. I see them all about equally, and they feel about all equal to me, except for maybe getting one-shotted by a Marksman Hunter here and there. But the next thing we have is Boomkin. So Boomkin, in solo shuffle, I think Boomkin is S tier easily. Easily S tier. Run away, do the most damage on the team, have spam clones, whatever you want. Easily S tier. But in threes, it only has one good comp. So that kind of makes it lose a little bit of ranking for me. So we're going to put it actually up in the A plus tier. But remember, if this was just solo, I would be putting that in S. But since it only has one good comp in threes, we're going to put it at high A tier. Next thing we have here is Frost Death Knight. So Death Knight. I actually play this class. This is my main multi-rank 1 Death Knight, both specs. And I have to say, Death Knight is getting better, okay? So we got some Death Strike buffs in the most recent class changes, and that made Death Knight a lot more viable. You can live a lot better, and it's just better across the board. We also got some damage buffs. Frost Strike got buffed, Obliterate got buffed. So we're going to put DK in the A- tier right now. Actually, both specs of DK, all right? I think in Solo Shuffle, Frost is probably... Honestly, Frost might be a little bit better in both, but you can succeed in both as Unholy as well. So I played some Unholy DHDK in 3s, and we have basically yet to lose a game. It feels pretty freaking insane. Between the team Anti-Magic Shell and the reverse, both of those specs are really good for it. So I'm going to put DK in the A- tier. If you watch the last tier list, I had them both in the B tier. So we're on the come up, boys. We are on the come up. Having a lot more fun playing DK since then. Devastation Evoker. So kind of this could be A+, it could be S, but the reason I'm putting it S is because I see it everywhere, okay? Solo Shuffle, I'm seeing it in 3s, at the top of the ladder, everywhere, right? Like I'm seeing Devastation Warrior, Devastation Rogue, Devastation Feral, Devastation any melee at all, right? Windwalker, and it's everywhere. Unlimited mobility, insane damage, easy rotation, a lot of CC. You can spam cast Sleep over and over and just keep casting it. Like, the class seems really good. You could maybe put it A+ instead of S, but at that point, it's like you're just arguing S- to A+. It's kind of subjective at that point. But in my opinion, it's pretty good spec. I'm putting it in S. Next, we have Augvoker. So I'm going to put the Augvoker down in C, okay? The reasoning for this... Augvoker is not, like, sure, it has some cheese. You can do a big one-shot, but that's pretty much it, right? You got a big one-shot. The class relies on that. Outside of that, it's, like, not really a threat or anything at all, right? So I don't really think it's a very good spec. I think it's super niche, and maybe it has its places, but its place is going to be C on the tier list. So Prop Pally, we're going to throw that in F. Presvoker. Actually, let's do Presvoker. So if we're going to have H-Pally and Ardruid be S, we're going to put Presvoker be down at the A-, okay? I've been liking Prez a lot more recently since they got some buffs in the most recent class changes. Other things got nerfed, and that's just where it is. It seems like A- to me. I don't think it's super bad. I don't think it's insanely good, but I think it's okay. It's decent. I enjoy playing with it. Next, we have Disc Priest. Actually, let's do let's throw Fire Mage. Boom. B tier for Fire Mage. It got some buffs. It's better now. I don't think it's C tier anymore. I think it's B tier. Affliction Warlock. We're going to throw that also in the B tier. You can make it work. You can do good damage, whatever. It's just a little squishy into some stuff. But out of all the lock specs, in my opinion, it is the worst. I'm not really nearly as scared when I see one of these. In fact, I'm quite happy. Let's throw the other tank Brewmaster there. And then, let's see. Disc Priest. So I'm going to put Disc Priest down in B. I don't think it's that great right now. I think it might be one of the worst healers. It just ooms, basically. I mean, you've got strong cooldowns while you're alive, but it just doesn't seem as good as it like once was or has been. But next we have Holy Priest. I think Holy Priest is an A+ healer. It was S tier as of recently, but I think it kind of fell off a little bit, but I still think it's pretty good. A+ at this point. So here we're going to get into some potential controversial things, but we'll see. So let's do Demo Warlock. Me personally, whenever I queue high-rated solo shuffles, I see 1 to 2 Demo Warlocks. Literally, like multiple Demo Warlocks in one lobby once I get high. They feel like they can't die before dampening. They physically can't die. They barely even have to kite, it seems like. They just kind of sit there and take the damage and then pour it on cooldown. And it's just a devastatingly oppressive class to play against, from my experience across the board. So I actually put them up to S. A main reason for this, so the last tier list, Arms Warrior was S tier, right? And these were I think they had them A tier. But since then, Arms Warrior and just Warrior in general, their Wrecking Throw, which could destroy the entire Dark Pact and the Warlock instantly, has been nerfed, okay? It's been nerfed, and as well as other stuff has been nerfed. So, and also their Demon Armor got buffed. So this class is just like an unkillable god, it feels like. Just an absolute terror. Next we have here is Shadow Priest. So I'm going to put Shadow Priest in the A+ tier. I think they're very good. If you can get your damage out while like taking a bunch of damage and everything like that, I think the class is really strong. I'm seeing some good success with them across the board. I don't think they're S tier though because of certain matchups, but I do think they're very strong. Next we have here is Windwalker. I'm not sure if I had these as, I think I only had these as A in the last tier list. So basically same place for the Windwalkers. Strong melee with Immortal Strike, really viable. But I don't quite think they're S tier anymore like they were earlier in the season. Next we have here is Mistweaver. So Mistweaver and I think Mistweaver and Solo Shuffle is honestly like S tier. But because this list factors in 3v3 and Solo Shuffle, I'm going to have to take Mistweaver down just a little bit because in threes, I don't think it's S tier. So we're going to put that into the A+ tier right there. Just a good class. They do a shit ton of damage too if they play Fist Weaving. Pretty good class overall. Let's see. So Destro Warlock. I'm going to put the Destro Warlock at the A tier. And remember, so left to right in the tier list means nothing, Chad. It's just simply up to down, okay? Like top to bottom. Not left to right is irrelevant in this. But Destro Warlock, I'm going to put that in the A tier, in the A+ tier, okay? In Solo Shuffle, I feel like Destro Warlock is one of the most suppressing classes in the game. If I fight a good Destro Warlock, it just feels like everyone's just dead constantly. Like a couple seconds, there's just a window to die, it feels like. And the thing that makes him so insane in Solo Shuffle to me is the fact that even if you guys play insane and you're going to land your kicks or something like that, like inevitably, you're going to double kick, right? Both of you guys are going to kick at once because you're not in communication. And the Warlock's going to get off free Chaos Bolts and a potential win because of that every time. So that, in my opinion, makes me think that it's S tier outside of some lobbies because it has some hard lobbies. But overall, across the board, I'm going to put it in the A+ tier just because of the potential for kills and the oppression and everything that it has. Next, we have Frost Mage. I'm going to put that back in the S tier where it has been in every tier list. Class is insane. Instant cast, unkillable, insane CC. It's just an insane class across the board, literally godly. And speaking on that, we're actually going to put Arcane Mage up there as well. So I had Arcane Mage in A tier in the last tier list. We're actually moving the Arcane up, okay? The Arcane is being moved up. I'm seeing way too many of them. They're absolutely disgusting. They do disgusting amounts of damage. They're unkillable. Same boat as the Frost Mage, pretty much. Just one less block. Next we have Resto Shaman. We're going to put Resto Shaman down in B tier. Sometimes I like Resto Shaman, sometimes I don't. I feel like they're pretty similar to Priest in terms of healers. I think this healer hierarchy here is pretty good going up across them. Enhanced Shaman. So I actually had Enhanced Shaman a little lower before, but I'm going to put the Enhanced Shaman in the A tier because I have seen Enhanced do some work. Like they pushed up, I saw an Enhanced push up to #1 on the Solo Shuffle ladder. Like not just #1 for their spec, but like #1 on the whole ladder. And I've seen them do decent in threes. So across the board for that, we're going to give them a solid A-. I think they're about pretty similar to DKs. And the final piece of the puzzle here, guys, is Ellie Shaman. Last time I had Ellie Shaman as A tier. I'm thinking I'm probably going to put it S tier this time. Like, there's not really many Ellie Shamans in North America, but when I watch EU, I just see a bazillion Ellie Shamans, and same with the tournaments and everything. Ellie Shamans have a huge one-shot right now. They're just a really good class. They can dampen. They're really good into mages. I think they're a low S tier. I do think that they're a low S tier. You could maybe put them A+ tier, but we're going to go with S this time because, yeah, they can one-shot you. They can absolutely just destroy you, incinerate you. So they're a really good class. I think I undervalued them last time with A. So, but yeah, here we have it, guys. This is the updated tier list for the corruptions and the most recent PvP changes. I've been spam queuing the game literally since all the class changes and corruptions came out, adjusting this list every single day based on all the queues and every information that I've been gathering and speaking with everyone and, just, yeah, changing the list, trying to make it as accurate as physically possible. So if there's anything that you agree or disagree with here, just let me know in the comments below. If you like the video, hit the like button, maybe hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, or you can catch me live at twitch.tv/partywafflesx. So peace.